Okay, so we're gonna do burgers, so I quickly turned the burners on, and I'll show you that in a second, but I do wanna wash up here. So once again, we know this from before, right? 3, 4, we're doing it for 20 full seconds, right? Because we wanna make sure that everything is clean before we touch it. I already poured the patties, and I'll show you that in a second, but I touched chicken earlier, and I absolutely wanna make sure 19, 20. Okay, do that. And then come over here, grab a paper towel, and now we're set. So I'm going to quickly spray the pans just to make sure they don't stick. So I have a spray. As you can see, and I'll have my cameraman come over here, I have it on medium to medium high heat, more of a medium high heat on each one. So why do I have two pans? Well, here is why. Because I have two different types of burgers. I have chicken burgers and I have beef burgers. So what I've done is it's ground beef, and we learned this at Next Step, right? That if the store makes the patties for you, it's going to cost more money because they're doing more work. So I make them myself. I also get to season them myself. And all I'm using today is just a little salt and a little pepper on each side. Just enough to give it a little extra flavor, okay? You don't want to overdo it on the salt. Obviously, we talked about that before with sodium being such a big issue. So what we're going to do is we're going to wait for the pans to heat up a little bit, and then we're going to add the burgers. We're going to put the seasoned side down and start to sear it. So what the searing does is it'll seal in the flavor and the juices, okay? So you want to make sure you don't put it on the pan until it heats up a little bit. You don't want it burning hot by any stretch. Like I said, we're between medium to medium high heat at this point, okay? And then, as you can see, I'm going to have some lettuce here that I've already cut up, and we're going to put some cheese on the burger that's in the pan, okay? So, the other thing I have along with the two pans are two different spatulas. Like I said, chicken is just one of those things you don't want to mess with. So I'm going to use different spatulas and different pans to cook these burgers. So I'm going to start with the chicken, okay? And remember, like I said, we're going to do it seasoned side down. There's one. There's two. There's three. And there's four. So I formed them into kind of a ball type patty, and now I can flatten them out here, okay? So I'm going to put this immediately here. I'm just going to rinse this off a little bit. And then I'm going to put on just a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. And you can add your own stuff. I was talking to Sam today, and she puts onion powder. We've done garlic powder, okay? You can kind of do what you want. Same with these burgers here. Okay, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Good. The same thing. Gonna rinse this off, and now we're set. A little salt here, a little salt there. Nothing too much on the salt. Same with the pepper. But burgers are one of those things you can experiment with, right? So like I said, you know, you can add, you know, a little spice, a little cayenne pepper if you want. We talked about the garlic powder if you want. This here is like an everything bagel, okay? But it has the chunks of onion in it. Some people use like an onion soup mix and kind of mix it in as well. Just adds more flavor. You could do anything. About everything's been tried. Oh, I use this sometimes, the Goya adobo, right? I like this a lot on a lot of things. I use it on chicken, I use it on pork. Burgers, another thing you can use it on. So, I'm gonna have my cameraman come over. So chicken is a little tougher to deal with. We wanna make sure that we cook it enough on one side. You can kind of see the discoloration coming. It's getting less pink and more white there, okay? But we wanna make sure it cooks through. Why is that? Because if it doesn't, the burger will break up, all right? We don't want it to break. The other thing I did is when I formed these patties, I took the plates and I stuck them in the freezer for a little bit just to cool them off, okay? And that will help it stick together as well. So I think I'm gonna try to do this one here. And you take it and flip, all right? So see how it's brown? And we'll do that. Now we don't want to push down too hard because all that's going to do is push the juice out. So there's 2, there's 3, and this one fell apart a tad. We should be able to save it though. All right, good. Now you don't want to get to the point where you're constantly flipping, okay? So I'm just going to turn this heat down a little bit. That cooked a little faster than I thought it was going to. These burgers here are starting to form as well. Like I said, so we just want to make sure we sear it down, okay? And before we flip it, we want to make sure it's completely cooked on that first side, okay? Now this one's falling apart a little bit here, okay? Let's try to form it together. And now since I touched the meat a little bit, what do I have to do? That's right, wash my hands again, all right? We don't want to cross-contaminate, all right? So you want to make sure, like that same thing, that if you end up touching anything raw, now your hands will be infected, and you don't want that, all right? So you want to make sure that you're able to clean off and do this once again for that 20 seconds. Okay? Good. Now these are going well. These are going well, all right? And what we're looking for is on the other side. So let me show you something quickly with the cheese. This is a trick I learned actually in Colchester at Harry's. I don't know if anybody's been to Harry's. They're famous for their burgers. But if you take the cheese and fold it in half, when you put it on the burger, you can have it where it crisscrosses and goes like that. Now we're not going to do it yet because it's not ready. We still have to make sure the other side is flipped. But if you just put it like this, it could ooze onto the pan and it's not as good. But if you end up in a situation where, you know, you want cheese on your burger, and not everybody does, if you go like this, it'll have more cheese on top of the burger instead of oozing off when it melts and getting onto your pan. So, excuse me, I'm going to have, once again, you can kind of see this is still a little pink here, so I'm going to let this go a little while longer before I flip it. For the burger today, you know, you can put it on just a regular white bun. These beef burgers are bigger, so I'm going to put it on a bulky roll. All right, once again, it's to your preference. All right, I'm pan frying it today. I do like them grilled as well. If you grill them, what you want to do with that, because it's such a high heat, when you form the patties, you actually want to put a thumbprint in the middle. So that keeps it from sticking to the grill. It's one of the things I learned from watching all those cooking shows on the Food Network. So now I think I'm going to give it an attempt and see how it's going on the other side. And it's looking really good, okay? Good. Very nice. And great. So I'm just going to cook it a little bit on this side. So this one fell off a little bit. No big deal. We'll see if we can form it back together and maybe the cheese will help it stay together there, okay? So I'm just going to cook it 1 or 2 more minutes on this side again. And then I'm going to flip it over and then I'll add the cheese. So I'm just going to quickly check the beef burgers, which take a little longer to cook. That's looking really nice. Okay, this one I hope is not going to fall apart on me. It won't. Very nice. This one's a good one. Make sure we sear it in. Good, that one's looking very nice, right? Good color. And let's see, this was the one I had to reform. Let's see how I did here. Very good. All right. So really, this is what you're looking for. I probably flipped this one a little bit early. This is what you're looking for, that nice sear. That'll keep the juices in. These are starting to look really nice. Okay. So like I said, I'm just going to give it 1 more minute maybe, tops. And you can even see the seasonings on there. It's seared into each side. This is going well. A lot of ovens have vents on them. It kind of gets the steam out of your way here. Because this is going to steam. Look at the difference. So this is the fat in the burger kind of coming off. See the difference? The chicken. That's why people like chicken a little better for a health reason. Not as much fat in that. This is a lot of fat basically burning off. And if my cameraman can come over, look at it in the pan compared to here. Not much in the pan, right? Good. Oh, these are looking great. Okay. Good. And the last one here. Awesome. So I'm just going to show you one, and then I'm going to turn it off, okay? So once you put the cheese on, you can just turn it off, and there's going to be enough heat on that burger. In fact, it might even be too much heat that I'm going to move it to the back off of the burner, right? You can notice that, see with the handles, I've left them out just to be safe, right? We don't want it over a burner that we're using. We don't want it here because it'll knock off. In the back, once again, there's burners in the back that if you ended up using them, you'd have trouble. So this one to that side, that one to that side. So once again, I'm going to have these burners finished off. You can make them at home or in the cottage yourself and save some money. Thank you so much.